Alright, newsflash, you know what I talk about. It's gotta be me, LH Music, and welcome to my political life video blog. I got two news flashes for you, for these two segments. One is gotta be Bernie Sanders. The other one is you gotta be Jorge Ramos. And you guess the Univision television crew done something worse. So here's your worst nightmare about, you guessed it, Bernie Sanders. About this one, according to theblaze.com, as far as we're concerned. Here's why. Because during CNN town hall yesterday, because Bernie Sanders, who is running for the 2020 Democratic presidential nomination, who defends his decision not to condemn controversial Venezuelan leader Nicolai Maduro as, you guessed it, the dictator. Who's the dictator anyway? Anyone civilized about this one? Well, you just didn't trust me about that as well. As far as we're concerned. However, Bernie Sanders has made this thing once to avert the suggestion that the President Trump ran for office is to be a what? A dictator? That is not true. No, it's not. So here's my purpose of what did Sanders says about this one. You guessed it, Monday. Oh, should we say, yeah? Should we say last week? And you know why? Pays to be nice to people. Senator says, Senator, why have you stopped short calling Maduro of Venezuela a dictator? You know, Wolf Blitzer's just, oh boy, one of the CNN, the liberal media bias pressure people buffoon, because everything else keeps still asks a stupid question. And here's why. Because Sanders tries to ignore the question. Really, huh? He wouldn't answer the question? Instead of offering a huge response about Venezuela's last national election. Well, guess what? He thinks that I think it's fair to say that the last election was undemocratic. But there's still democratic operations taking place in their country. The point is this: what I am calling for right now is intentionally supervised free election. Oh gosh, Bernie Sanders, you are so crazy, and you try to be berating Trump like that, but you're still ignoring. Yeah, Wolf Blizzard's question. Question. And then you try to say those stupid things that it has to do with the interesting that Trump is concerned about what goes on in Venezuela. About the last election that took place in Saudi Arabia. Oh, really, huh? Saudi Arabia has nothing to do with it. And you might think it's so smart. Women are treated as third-class citizens. Newsflash, I have no clue whatsoever. Could be the red alert of you, Bernie Sanders. You are so dumb and you're so ridiculous. This is gonna be obvious for now, because you didn't answer the darn question. You want to trash Trump like this one? Put this in writing for you. You're wrong. You're dead wrong. You asked the wrong question, Bernie Sanders. And for you, Wolf Blitzer, get it through your darn head. Ask the right questions, because you CNN liberal have no objections whatsoever, are no good. For now, who cares? Here's another news flash alert that you already know about this one, and that is Jorge Ramos. and Univision crew. Remember this? I blasted Mr. Ramos in the face on last couple summers for primetime news. You know, I'm back on an all-new primetime news. Brand new season premiere starts in March, only on the Hallmark Channel. And here's what exactly what would expected from, you guessed it, Maduro. Listen to this from this whole ridiculous charade of you guessed it. Listen to this. Jorge Ramos just asked a stupid question about, you guessed it, leader Nicolai Maduro was reported detained Univision because Univision anchor Jorge Ramos and his news crew after he grew angry. Over asking questions. Yeah, I get it. He asked a question last Monday because the official social media account for Univision just tweet the report about Ramos. Attention, a Univision team headed by, you guessed it, Jorge Ramos, known as Jorge Ramos News, is being arbitrated, detained by the, you guessed it, at the Flores Palace in Caracas. As they reported this, you might think it's so smart about Jorge Ramos. Here's your answer. All right. Because they're interviewing Nicolai Maduro, but he doesn't like the questions that the tweet has to explain because their technical equipment was also confiscated. Oh. Well, what about Senator Marco Rubio says he has been active the following events in Venezuela and tries to attempt to shape the U.S. policy in the region, tweeted more of the details of the detention. You see, I told you. So Marco Rubio, it's off. Marco Rubio just reported that Ramos was on the phone with his office, and it was in the middle of explaining how this is going on about the detaining by, you guessed it, Maduro, when the phone just abruptly hung up. And it says, this is an arrogant regime that it feels like invulnerable and is acting with totally impunity. Now you see, once of the former prosperous Latino Latin American country has been roiled by the protest over, you guessed it, economic collapse, and that is why it led to mass shortage of food, medicine, and living staples. You know, Jorge Ramos, you try to challenge President Trump on purpose, do you? And now you try to ask Maduro the question. You got it all wrong. Give me one good reason why. Don't we all know this very well, as far as we're concerned? Hey, well, don't we all know that very well? But you know, the moral of my political life video blog story is this. One is Bernie Sanders and the other one is Jorge Ramos are dead wrong. So, don't let the wrong impressions fool you. But Bernie Sanders and Jorge Ramos are such sore losers. Try to ask Maduro the wrong questions. What else can I say? Anyways, that's my political life video blog story. And I'm sticking to it.